Good evening, fam. Hey, it's your brother G Hightower coming in on this wonderful Sunday evening. Welcome to the Sunday Night Love Chat. And tonight, family, I want to come back with part two of what we shared just the other night. We talked about 7 signs that fear may be keeping you single. Listen, let's ask the question tonight, because everyone doesn't struggle with fear. Some people are content in their singleness. So I want to always acknowledge the fact that there are some people who are content in their singleness, single and satisfied, single and just living your life and really don't have a desire for companionship, don't have a desire to build relationship. But most of us who are single, even if we don't admit that we don't want to be alone, many of us desire a relationship. Many of us desire a marriage. Some of us have been married before, married and divorced, married and widowed. Um, some of us have been in long-term relationships that did not lead to the fruit of marriage. And so a lot of us are in a place where we say, wow, I'm at a certain age now, whatever that age is, whether you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s or 60s, you're at a certain age and you say, you know what, I just don't want to be alone. Let me help you in here. We know what the scripture says. We know the scripture says in the book of Genesis, God speaks and he says, it is not good that man should be alone. And of course, he's specifically talking about Adam. But I submit to you tonight, family, that it is not good for any of us to be alone. God built all of us. We've all been designed for relationships. Yes, absolutely. Every single one of us. Hey, Iman, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So I wanted to come in tonight, family, really finish this topic up and really delve into the fears that we may have. Some of us are just not pushing past our inward fears that are preventing us from having healthy love relationships. And so I want to delve into this tonight. And I know the hour is a little bit late for a Sunday night, but nevertheless, I wanted to honor my commitment as I said I would and come back and do part two of this broadcast. Listen, do me a favor if you're here in the broadcast, please share this broadcast tonight, family, because I'm going to really get into some really deep psychological stuff. And as I always like to say, we're going to do some soul work tonight. All right. What is soul work? I never heard that before. I know about saving my soul. Yeah, I hope your soul is saved too. But we're going to do the soul work tonight. All right. The soul consists of our mind, our will, and our emotions. It is a part of every single human being on the planet. All right. We are all tripartite in our existence. We are spirit. We are housed inside of a body and we possess a soul. Right. So now, I want to delve into this topic tonight that I believe will be really helpful for all of us. And then at the end of this broadcast, we'll deal with, we'll have a nice little Q&A session, okay? I'm going to share a few love nuggets with you that I believe will be helpful to you. And then at the end, once I get through, then I will do a Q&A session where I will allow you all to ask questions. You can drop questions in the chat and I will address them accordingly to the best of my ability. All right. So you all please go ahead and share the broadcast. Go ahead and share, share, share. And yes, we are going to get deep, but I promise you it's going to be fun too. All right. Um, oh, goodness, it never fails. Somebody is already messaging me. Um, oh, okay. Um, all righty. So, listen, nevertheless, I want to jump in and delve into this topic tonight. It's going to be deep, but I promise you it's going to be fun as well. All right. I'll wait for a couple of minutes and give people a chance to come on into the room. And this might be a topic that some people are a little bit afraid of, but you don't need to be afraid of it, family. We got to address it. All right. Because I want to help people overcome their fears so that we can have healthy love relationships, so we can have more marriages. Listen, it's not good for nobody to be alone. I know some of you are in a place where you're saying, you know what, I'm cool. I don't want to deal with anybody else. I submit to you that even that feeling, that conviction is probably being driven by fear. Now, again, I acknowledge there are some people who are happy and content in their singleness and really don't desire a relationship. But for the most part, I would say the mass majority of human beings desire relationship, desire marriage, the mass majority of human beings. All right. Thank you for sharing, Iman. I appreciate you. Queen Lavora, blessings to you, dear. Thanks for coming in. All right. So let's get into it. I'm just going to go ahead and go and get started. And whosoever will, let them come. All right. So first and foremost, family, fear. Fear in and of itself is a paralyzer, right? Fear will keep you in a space where you want to just be in complete solitude. You want to isolate yourself. And the great actor and comedian Jim Carrey said something that was so powerful. He talked about that it's dangerous. Jim Carrey talked about it's dangerous to isolate yourself for too long. Because what happens in isolation, you become, watch this, family, we become addicted to the peace and serenity of isolation. Oh my God. And the great actor Jim Carrey said this. He said, the peace and serenity of isolation can become so addictive that the thought of having somebody in your life feels like a disruption to your peace and serenity. So that's what happens. It becomes so dangerous because now the thought, watch this, a God ordained relationship that the Lord Himself is sending into your life. And you may reject that person. You may sabotage that relationship because the thought of adding someone into your life feels like a disruption to your peace and serenity. Oh my God, can we help some people in here tonight? Blessings, Dr. Dr. Sarah comes in looking. She's like, "Ooh, what's this about?" Listen, um, you have to look through a different lens if you're going to have a healthy love relationship. Because if you see someone coming into your life as a possible disruption, or literally heard women say this. I've literally heard women say these words in conversations with them. They've said to me, Dr. G, I'm good. I do want a good man coming in my life. As long as he don't come in here messing nothing up. As long as he don't come up in here messing up my peace. As long as he don't come up in here doing this. I'm like, wow. So you have a whole scroll of different things that you're saying that you don't want a man to come in and mess up. Why are we looking through the lens of a man coming into your life, ladies, as anything negative? Brothers, I'm saying the same thing to us. Why would you look at a woman coming into your life as something negative? Right? So I submit to you, family of God, that isolation is dangerous because it causes you to become addicted to the peace and serenity of being alone. And listen, this is detrimental for many of us because it can cause you to fall into a place of depression. It can cause you to fall into a place of self-doubt. I know a lot of us, we function at a high level of productivity when we are alone. And so that's cool. But the times of isolation or separation should be a season and not you building a life of isolation. All right. There is a real condition called skin hunger. It's a real disorder called skin hunger. Skin hunger is someone literally falling into a debilitated state emotionally and physically due to a lack of human contact. There are people who literally have died due to skin hunger, that they have no one in their life that they're interacting with. They have completely isolated themselves away from family members and friends. They've literally become like a hermit. They become a recluse and they are just completely alone, ensconced in whatever they do in that house or that apartment, and they don't want to be disturbed at all. But yet there's a longing in their soul for companionship, for fellowship, for human interaction and contact. But because they have made up their mind that my isolation, that I don't want nobody, Dr. Sarah, to mess with my isolation, they've made up in their mind that I'm going to stay isolated. I don't care what nobody thinks about it. I don't care what nobody says about it. And ultimately, they can fall into a debilitated state mentally, emotionally, physically. And it's called skin hunger, a lack of human contact. Okay. So I want to encourage us, even for those of us who've been through abusive relationships, even for those of us who've been horribly neglected, and you feel like it's just easier if I'm just by myself because at least I don't have to worry. I don't have to concern myself with being neglected or being rejected. I don't have to concern myself with that from another person if I just stay by myself. That's your move right now, Dr. Sarah? Well, Dr. Sarah, I mean, listen, your brother is just a phone call away. We've had these conversations, Dr. Sarah. We will not have this conversation publicly, but you know, we got it like that for each other, right? So listen, so let's delve into these love nuggets. I want to delve into these love nuggets, and then again, if you have questions, by all means, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, and I will circle back and address them to the best of my ability. All right, so I covered several fears the other night. You'll have to go back and watch part one. I will not rehearse what I covered the other night, with the exception of just one, and just one, which is my primary one, which God keeps bringing me back. God keeps bringing me back today. You should have, Dr. Sarah. You know what? We're not going to do it right now. Dr. Sarah, you should have. Period. Point blank, period. Love you, mean it. All right. Blessings to you and the super kids. All right, listen. Philophobia. Philophobia. This will be the one that I rehearsed from, that I shared the other night. You have to go back and watch the other broadcast, which I think we did Thursday night, the 31st. It's still here on my page, both on YouTube and on Facebook. All right. Philophobia. Philophobia is the fear of falling in love. Philophobia, of course, giving us two words in the Greek, philo or phileo, which is brotherly love, right? It is the love where we share something in common, philo or phileo, which is the root word from where we get the city of Philadelphia, which is what? The city of brotherly love. Which phila in English, but it's phileo in the Greek. All right. So philophobia then is the fear of falling in love. And I want to encourage you today, family, that if this is something that's an issue for you, I want to encourage you to please reach out to me. I would love to work with you and help you walk through this. All right. Philophobia is a fear of falling in love or developing emotional attachments to someone. This causes people to push people away. This causes people to avoid romantic relationships. This causes people to literally create a problem, even though there's nothing wrong in our relationship at all. But you will create a problem. You will cause difficulty in the relationship because you're fearful of developing a deeper, closer bond. Many people will get to a place when you're suffering with philophobia, the fear of falling in love. Many people will get to a place where you don't want to lose control. And so people who are suffering from philophobia will literally create havoc. create confusion in a relationship that has no confusion. Watch this. They will take a disagreement where we just disagree on something. It could be something as who's the greatest tennis player of all time, and I'm going to say Serena Williams. I mean, as far as women are concerned, I'm going to say Serena. You say no, Billie Jean King was the best, or Martina Navratilova was the best. I'm going to say Serena all day, right? Shout out to Compton. That's where I'm from, L.A., California. Uh, and so one little disagreement like that can explode into a huge volcanic eruption in our relationship. And it's not because we disagreed on who's the greatest tennis player. Really, you want to sabotage the relationship because you are suffering from philophobia and you would rather push me away behind a small disagreement over who's the greatest tennis player. That ain't what we really fighting about. Really? You're fighting with me and you're pushing me away because you're afraid of falling in love with me. All right. Hey, Raven, good to see you. Blessings to you. Pastor Victoria, good to see you. Blessings on you. So if you're suffering, if you're struggling with falling in love, listen, I would love to work with you. I would love to help you. Um, I will. You can schedule a coaching session with me. This is an area where I'm graced to serve in. For those of you that don't know me, I'm not just another talking head on social media. I just celebrated in the month of August 20 years. 20 years of pastoral counseling experience specializing in relationships. I'm a certified life coach, certified relationships coach, and currently working on another certification as well and license. So I'm not new to this. I'm real true to this. I'm passionate about the mission of building healthy love relationships. But in order for us to build healthy love relationships, we have to build a healthy you. We have to be a healthy me, right? And so the soul work is everything. Hey, Janie Sue, blessings to you. Yes, that's right. You know what it is. LA, Cali, LA, Cali, California. Okay, I ain't gonna go there, y'all. All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one. Love nugget number 2 tonight. And this one is a huge one that must never be overlooked. Um, some people suffer from cheerophobia, which is the fear of happiness. Yes, family, it is a real thing. It is a real thing. Um, some people are accustomed to waiting for the other shoe to fall. They suffer. Now, people who suffer from cheerophobia are people who have suffered multiple back-to-back disappointments. And ultimately, they've developed a real pessimistic outlook on life. They become very cynical about everything. These are the people that when you talk about how wonderful the day is, they say, yeah, but it's probably going to rain before the day is over. And you talk about, oh, wow, you just got blessed with a new job. And they'll say, yeah, well, you better watch yourself because, the last one hired is the first one fired. I mean, whatever, whatever positive thing you can share, they're going to bring a negative spin to it. Cheerophobia, these are people that have a fear of happiness. These are the people that you can never love them enough. You can never do enough good for them. You can never pour enough into them because they literally are dealing with self-destructive mindset. They have a fear of being happy because they believe that something bad is going to happen inevitably. All right. They will spew things out of their mouth as if it's a scripture. Well, Murphy's Law, Murphy's Law. Yeah, if something good has happened, something bad is soon to follow. These are people are struggling, they struggle like this. So they have a difficult time of enjoying good moments. They have a difficult time of celebrating. They have a difficult time in honoring and appreciating other people for their success. You know somebody like that? Yeah. Oh, Pastor Victoria, you lived in Paris? Wow, I pastored in Paris. That's where I found it. That's where I founded my church. Pastor Victoria, I founded my church, oh God, a gazillion years ago, in Paris, California. Paris was so small back then that I was known as the Paris pastor, even though there were 80 other churches in Paris. And my church wasn't the biggest, but I was known as the Paris pastor. Go figure. I don't know. So you have to understand then, you have to understand that there is people that suffer with cherophobia, they're going to always have something negative to say. Listen, so you can test this out with friends. You don't have to ever get into a romantic relationship with somebody. You can just start out on a friendship level. Just start sharing some good news. And if they always have a bad report to bring behind a good report, you already know this is not a person you want to bond with. Because the moment, listen, you could get blessed, you could win the lotto. For those that play the lotto, I personally don't, never have. But for those that play the lotto, you can get blessed with, $40 million, right? And they will come behind and say something crazy. Well, you better not let nobody know about it because you know you're gonna be broke in about 2 years. They say that everybody that wins a lotto gonna be broke in 2 to 3 years. They will have something negative to say. So you just want to distance yourself from anyone because I promise you, this person needs help. They need counseling. Okay. They need therapy. There's no amount of love that you can give this person. Okay. And I find this to be true in my years of counseling and coaching with people that people who suffer from cherophobia, they also have narcissistic tendencies as well. Okay. So you want to steer clear of that. Please don't think that you are super lover. You know what I mean? Please don't think that you're super lover, bombastic. No, no. Trust me, you do not have enough love for them. They need professional help. All right. Your job is to love them from a distance or pray for them, but you cannot be in a relationship with them until they are healed. All right. Let's go to the next one. These some good love nuggets. I hope you all are sharing this broadcast tonight. This one is a huge one as well. All right. Some people suffer. They suffer tremendously. Um, oh yeah. Okay. Somebody sending me a message. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, there are people who we talk about, people that are OCD, people who are germaphobes, usually people who are germophobic. They don't like shaking hands, they don't like hugging and things like that, those kind of physical intimacies because they struggle with interacting with people out of the fear of catching something, um, contracting a sickness or a flu or something like that. But there is such a thing also as social phobias. The social phobia. Some people have an intense fear of social situations, and it's not because they don't like people. Okay. Oh, poor Janie Sue. Janie Sue said, Pastor G, I wish I would have met you 10, 20 years ago because I could have not married that joker. I got you, Janie Sue. Listen, um, thank you, Lavora. Thank you for sharing. Um, People who suffer from social phobias, it's not that they don't like people, they do, but they have an intense fear of being judged, of somehow something happening where they'll be terribly embarrassed, right? And so, because of that social phobia, they won't go out a lot. In fact, they find themselves outside of the necessities of work and church. You may see these people are just at home all the time. And even something that would be beneficial for them on a social level, they'll be reticent to get out because they're fearful of I might not have the right thing to wear. I might not look the right thing. Is my hair okay? Is my skin okay? Do you think I got on too much makeup? Oh, bruh, do you think my fade is over? Well, I'm in dire need of a fade, y'all. But do you think I got the right? I mean, they will have a whole lot of self-doubt and they may even become angry with you with the thought of you inviting them out to a social event. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not you, it's not your problem, it's their problem. And the social phobia will keep people on lockdown. Okay. Nothing could have been better for the people who have social phobia than the pandemic. Those people were happy because they didn't have to go anywhere. It was cool to be at home. It was cool to be, quarantined. It was cool to not have to get out. Those people were happy. Trust me. So People with social phobias, and this is why, family, I highly recommend it. Let me put this out here. I highly recommend, ladies and gentlemen, even for those of us who do enjoy dating, who do go enjoying up, go out and enjoy meeting up with people. Listen, be careful of being too quick to meet up with people before you have at least, I highly recommend, ladies and gentlemen, have at least 7 conversations over the phone before you go out. Yes, 7. I used to say 5. Those of y'all that have followed me for a long time, I used to say 5 and 5, right? I used to say 5 long conversations and 5 this and 5 that. 7, the number of completion. Have a minimum of 7 conversations over the phone. Why? Because you want to build up a really good, strong rapport with a person before you go out, whether it's lunch, dinner, whatever. And the reason why it's important to do that, family, because we may find that even over the phone, we're not a good fit for each other. Okay. I am a person, just to be transparent here and be a little vulnerable. I am a person, I love people. I love social interaction. I love getting out and meeting new people. While I'm not an extrovert, there is an extroverted side of me, but I am a quintessential ambivert. So as much as I do love meeting people and getting out and going to new places and restaurants and traveling, as much as I love that, I also covet my private time as well. But that said, the extroverted side of me, the outgoing part of me, I love getting out and meeting people. And I find that sometimes I've been in situations where I've been too trusting, that I trusted people too quickly. And I found myself in situations where not only was that love and that trust not being reciprocated, but I found out that I was just giving myself to the wrong person or giving access to myself to the wrong people, right? So if you are sensitive in nature like that, you know that about yourself. It's very important that you keep yourself guarded, you keep yourself protected. You don't have to put walls up as if you're, you know, living inside of a, fortress of solitude. But as the scripture says, you do want to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of the heart flow the issues of life. You don't need your life to suffer a major disruption on a mental, emotional, or relational level because you gave access to yourself to the wrong person. All right. Hey, Sherry, good to see you, dear. Blessings on you. All right. So be careful of people who may be struggling with social disorders, social phobia, right? People who suffer with social phobia, they have a difficult time in forming new relationships, right? Or watch this. People who suffer from social phobias, they also have a difficult time in maintaining the strength and health of a relationship. These are the people who go MIA on a regular basis. You looking for them and they're in a witness protection program. You can't find them. They're not responding to the calls, not responding to emails, just unresponsive, period. All right. So people with social phobia, they will avoid gatherings, they will avoid uh, um, conversations. All right. And again, it's not because they don't like people. They do love people, but the fear of being embarrassed, the fear of being humiliated, the fear of being judged will cause people who suffer with social phobia, it'll cause them to just avoid all of that. I'd rather not go. I'd rather not be there. I'd rather not have conversations with people because even in conversations with people, people might judge me because I feel this way, right? People with social phobias also kind of deal very heavily with imposter syndrome. There's a deep fear, deep rooted fear in them that says, oh my God, if they really knew how I really feel, if they really knew how I really think, they may not like me. Okay. So again, 7 conversations, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be so thirsty. Don't be so thirsty to go out on a date that you don't take the time to vet that person before you go out on a date. 7 conversations over the phone before you go out. All right. All right. Blessings. Good to see you, Erica Sadira. Thanks for coming in. Blessings to you. All right. We are in part 2 of this great topic tonight. 7 signs that fear may be keeping you single. All right. Here's the last one, and then we'll get into a Q&A session for tonight. All right. Now this one is so huge. I want to really take a little time here. Um, autophobia. Autophobia. Autophobia is the fear of being alone. Now, let me tell you why this is so important. 'Cause I know we're talking about relationships. It's like, well, if they got the fear of being alone, no, let me help you. Because autophobia, people who suffer from the fear of being alone, they can be so clingy, and you have to be careful. Let me talk to my brothers first, gentlemen. Let me help you with this one, because a woman who suffers from autophobia, the fear of being alone, she can be really clingy, really attached to you, right? She may have a strong dependence on your presence. And as a man, you may think that she really loves you. Oh man, she really feeling the brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, she won't even let me leave out the door. You know what I mean? And you can feel good about it and make your chest all swell up and your head blow up because she is always clinging to you. But really, guess what, bruh? Newsflash, she really ain't into you like that. Oh God, I hate to break the news to you because you done spent money on her and you feeling her. You love you some her. But guess what? There is a possibility she could have sincere love for you, but a person who is suffering from autophobia is just really, they just fear being alone. You could just be what's present now, but you could easily be replaced by someone else who's willing to give that quality time. Okay? So the fear of being without somebody. These people, ladies, these are the ladies, and men are guilty of this as well. All right. But I find this to be true, especially among women, where that woman, she is never without a man in her life. Every time, it don't matter what she goes through, she always has a man in her life. And ladies, oftentimes that could be mistaken for she just got it going on. Oh, she's bad. She always got the men. Da 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 da. No, watch this. Women who suffer from autophobia, the fear of being alone, will oftentimes compromise themselves and give up their body in exchange for companionship. Chrissy D, blessings to you, dear. Good to see you. Hey, Michelle Hall, good to see you. So I want to really help you with this one. And gentlemen, I want to bless you as well, because for men that suffer from autophobia, that you always got to have a woman, you always got women in your life, boom, you always got to be at the club, you always got to be at the lounge, you always got to be at the and you're always in the person, always in the place where you're mingling, because reality is you have a dire need for companionship. You fear, you hate being by yourself. And your pad is bad. You got a nice house. You got a nice apartment, condo, townhouse, whatever. You got a nice place. One would think that you would find great satisfaction being at home. Being at home for you feels like the walls are caving in on you. And so I find that people over the years, as I've counseled with people who suffer from autophobia, these are the people who are oftentimes, not always, people who suffer from autophobia are people who are oftentimes highly promiscuous. They are heavily involved in sex, and they will tell you, oh well, physical affection, physical intimacy is my number one love language. This goes beyond physical intimacy. Physical intimacy should be shared with one person, and preferably with your mate, your spouse. But you have said, "Oh no, but I never give myself to more than one person. I just have one person at a time." Okay, but you have one person for 3 months here, and then next month you got one person right here, and you were with them for 6 months. Then you got to know another person. Then you got this, and I mean you were with them for a year. I mean, and then you had, four boyfriends in the last 2 years, and you live with two of them, or two of them live with you. That's not healthy. I have one friend that since 2020, my dear friend who I love to life and have the utmost respect for, my awesome friend, has been married 3 times. in the last 4.5 years. And she has no shame about it. Her thing is, G, I'm not going to get involved sexually with a man until I'm married to him. Much respect. And she knows that I talk about this, and she don't care that I'm telling you what I'm telling you about her. So she has no shame at all about it. Now, to her credit, she never gets involved sexually with a man unless she's married. But now watch this. She's also, Coach Chrissy D, she's also so heavily committed to her dependence on a man, and she makes good money. She owns her own business. She's an author. The girl got it going on. She's bad. If you saw her, you would be like, I know she ain't needy like that. But watch this. Due to her dad passing away when she was just a little girl, she never had that affirmation from her father. She never had that impartation from her father. And so it caused her to grow up having a tremendous level of self-doubt. And as pretty as she is and as smart as she is, she always finds herself needing the companionship and the affection of a man. And while she doesn't want to put herself out there as a godly woman being promiscuous, it also puts her in a space where, due to her condition of autophobia, she does not give herself time to vet a man's character. So, boom, she's getting married inside of 6 months, barely knows this man from a can of paint. She's getting married 6 months, 9 months, whatever, getting married, only to find out that this man can't cover her. This man is not a man of character. This man done cheated on her and they ain't been married 4 months. And then she's getting a divorce. Okay. So I want to really, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to take the next 5 to 7 minutes and take questions. If you all have questions, go ahead and send your questions in and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I don't have all the answers, family, but I will certainly do my very best. And if I don't have an answer for you, I will do my homework and I'll get back at you. Listen, in the meantime, while you all are getting your questions together, if you want to schedule an appointment with me for a coaching session, by all means, let me know. I would be glad to be of service to you however I can. Um, and then also, I want to let you know that I have a 3-day relationship intensive coming up in 2 weeks. And you definitely want to be a part of it. All right. Um, yeah, you definitely want to be a part of this one. Trust me. Um, boom. So just in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow, I have the relationship autopsy. This is a 3-day relationship intensive, and the relationship autopsy is designed to help all of us do a thorough examination on our previous relationships. We got to identify what went wrong in the last relationship, what went wrong in the last marriage. Watch this, because all of you in here would tell me, "Oh, Dr. G, I already know what went wrong. He did this, he did this. No, Dr. G, I already know. She did this, she did that." A thorough autopsy, which is designed to determine the cause of death. The relationship autopsy, because a healthy relationship requires two people, not just one. Watch this. Even if they cheated on you, even if they were dishonest with you, even if they betrayed your trust, you were in the relationship with them. So we have to determine, why didn't you see the red flags? And even after you found out what was wrong, why did you stay so long? This is going to require a relationship autopsy. Yeah. So it's starting next 2 weeks from tomorrow, 2 weeks from Monday. It's a 3-day intensive. We're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday straight. That's November 18th, 19th, and 20th. You do not want to miss this. This is going to be life changing. Okay. The relationship autopsy. We're going to delve deep and we're going to determine the cause of death. Why did my marriage get jacked up? Why did that relationship get jacked up? What was broken in me that I even chose them in the first place? Why did I not see the red flags? We're going to break it down. All right. So if you are interested, let me know in the chat. I have a link right here that I'm going to drop in the chat for you so that you can register for the relationship autopsy. Right. I'm going to drop that in the chat. And let's see if we have any questions that I can address for you all tonight before we go. Um, let's see. Iman says, when a man asks you a question, should I share everything about you? Should you share everything about yourself? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. You should not share everything about yourself at the outset of a relationship. Absolutely not. No. You want to share about yourself, Iman, as the relationship is organically evolving. Okay. We don't want to hide anything. We never, ever, ever want to be dishonest. But you also don't want to be an oversharer, right? Where you feel like you got to put out everything. No, 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 please don't give me too much. Okay. Let me discover you. Let me ask questions about you. Okay. Yes. Come on, Erica. This is one of the things that we as men, we love about women, that there's a little mystery to you. You know, I want to be in the process of discovering you. You know what I'm saying, baby? Let me pursue you. You know what I mean? I do want to get to know you, and I do want to get to know you on a deep, intimate level. But I want to also be in the process of discovering you as you discover me. Okay. There is such a thing as oversharing, and you don't want to do that because it can turn people off. All right. Yeah. Don't tell too much too quick. I'm not that dude that's going to ever ask how many men you've been with. I'm not going to ask that question. So you ain't got to roll out the scroll of how many men you've slept with and, you know, what your experiences have been and yada, yada, yada. You know, you ain't got to do that. All right. Pastor Victoria said I had to learn not to do so. Yeah. Yeah. Um, if you all enjoyed this content, did everybody enjoy this content tonight? If so, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if it was meaningful to you, if it was purposeful to you. All right. And then by all means, again, I'll stay here for another couple of minutes. If you want, if you have any questions, um, I'll be glad to answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, health questions are okay. We do kind of want to know those things up front. Um, but you know, even be careful with that. Even be careful with that. If this is a first date, um, outside of something really serious like a chronic disorder, I'm not getting into a conversation with you. And, you know, and how you can politely sidestep that question. You can just politely say, wow, this is our first date. That's kind of personal, isn't it? You know, how about let's just take the time to get to know each other on a real personal level and let's see where it goes from here. And then boom. Now, if they press past that, well, I just want to know, you know, if they press past that, well, now they're not respecting your boundaries. All right. So you got to make a determination in your mind, ladies and gentlemen. You got to make a determination in your mind. If they're not respecting your boundaries, I told you, I'm not comfortable yet. This is our first date, second date, third date. I'm not comfortable with you giving you my bill of health. All I will tell you is I'm healthy. Don't worry, I'm not going to die on you tomorrow. With the grace of God. All right. Good stuff, Pamela. I'm glad. Yes, Sadira, you'll be surprised. Women actually do this. I've had women tell me, um, I've had women tell me all kind of stuff. First, second date. First, second date. I mean, all kind of stuff. And it's like, wow. You know, and I'm always kind of a bit challenged with that because if a woman knows what I do on a professional level, as a relationship coach, as a pastoral counselor, then she's subject to just kind of lay on my couch and just want to just tell everything. And it's like, you know what? I just want to get to know you. Like, I'm really not trying to have a counseling session unless you're going to bang my Zelle. You know what I mean? But I'm not about to pay for your dinner on this wonderful date and give you a free counseling session. Like, that's not about to happen. I'm not at work. All right. I gave at the office. I left it all at the office. All right. Coach Chrissy has a question. Did I miss Chrissy's question? Thank you, Labora. My apologies, Coach Chrissy D. Where's your question at? See Faith. Good evening. Blessings to you. I don't see Coach Chrissy's question. Coach Chrissy, where's your question at, dear? I'll wait for another minute or so. All right. So once again, relationship autopsy happening 2 weeks from tomorrow. That's November 18th. It's going to be the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. I'm also considering doing a noontime session as well. Yeah, in fact, I probably will. I'll do a noontime session as well. So, yeah, you can expect 2 sessions Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll do a 12 noon session and we'll do an 8 p.m. session. That's Eastern time now. So if you're on the West Coast, that's going to be 9 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. If you're in Central time, that's going to be 11 a.m. Okay. But for those of us that are in the Eastern time zone, that's going to be 12 p.m. each day, 12 noon. It's going to be a lunchtime session, 1 hour of power, and then we'll do an 8 p.m. session each day. All right, let me make that clear. Each day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 12 noon session, 12 noon Eastern time, and 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, whatever time zone you're in, figure it out. I'm not going to list 18 different time zones. You can figure it out. You know where you live, right? You know where you live, right? Okay, good. So those of you that are on the West Coast, you know you're 3 hours behind us. If you're Mountain Time, you're 2 hours behind us. If you're in Central Time, that's 1 hour behind us. All right. All right, you can figure it out. Nicole Murray is in the building. Hey, Coach Nicole, good to see you. Yes, you can catch the replay, Coach Nicole. Absolutely. Coach Nicole, I owe you a phone call. Hey, Sharice, good to see you. Dr. Felicia is in the building, the faith pusher. Hey, Dr. Felicia. All right. All right, family, I love you to life. Blessings on you. I will give you tomorrow. I'll come on at some point tomorrow. I can't give you a specific time. Mondays are usually a heavy day for me, but I will come live tomorrow at some point, and we'll do maybe a lunchtime, somewhere in lunchtime, maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 11, 1 o'clock. We'll come on and we'll do a lunchtime Q&A. All right. All right. Love you. Blessings on you. Have a wonderful night, y'all. This is your brother G Hightower, the Entanglement Coach, CEO of Real Love Nation. We'll see you tomorrow, family, by God's grace. Have a good night, beloved.